Let's start with the next topic in deadlock, resource allocation graph. The deadlock can be represented in terms of directed graph is called a system resource allocation graph. This graph consisting of a set of vertices P and a set of edges E. And the set of vertices V is partitioned into two different types of nodes. One is P and one is R. So P represents the set of processes and R represents the set of resource types. So here we have n number of processes. So this set consisting of all the active processes in the system. Next one we have m number of resource types. R1 to Rm. So this set consisting of all resource types in the system. So these two are the nodes of the vertices of the resource allocation graph. Next we need to check how these edges can be represented in a resource allocation graphs. There are two types of edges we have. One is request edge, another one is a assignment edge. So request edge is used when a process requests for an instant time. In that case request edge is used. Assignment edge is used when a resource type has been allocated to the process. Okay, now we'll see request edge. Request edge is a directed edge from process Pi to resource type Rj. Is represented by like this, Pi to Rj. It signifies that the process Pi has requested an instance of resource type Rj and is currently waiting for the for that resource. Okay, next one, assignment edge is a directed edge from the resource type Rj to Pi. So this represents instance of Rj has been allocated to the process Pi. Okay, so we have two types of edges. One is request edge and the assignment edge. So request edge is from Pi to Rj and assignment edge is from the Rj to Pi. Okay, we'll see how these vertices, how this process and resource type and the request edge and assignment edge are represented in the resource allocation graph. Okay, now first one we have process. So process and the resource type both are the vertices of the resource allocation graph. So process is represented by using the circle. Each process is represented by using the circle. Next one we have resource type. So resource type is represented by the rectangle. So if there is a resource type has 4 instances, then it is represented by the dots. Inside the rectangles we need to put 4 dots if the resource type has 4 instances. Okay, next one. We need to represent the edge. One is a request edge and another one is a assignment edge. When a process Pi requests an instance of Rj, here we have used request edge, that is from process Pi to Rj. So that indicates that the process Pi can point to the only to the rectangle of Rj. Okay, in assignment edge, when a Pi is holding an instance of Rj, so here Pi must be assigned, the process Pi is assigned with the one of the dots in the rectangle. Okay, in assignment edge, one of the instance of Rj must be allocated to the process Pi. Okay, when a process Pi requests for an instance of Rj, that is when a process Pi is represented by the circle request for an Rj, I'll consider Rj. Now here when a process requests for an instance type Rj, so we need to include request edge. Okay, when the request is fulfilled, that is when the request is granted, then the request edge is removed from the graph and assignment is directly transformed to the assignment edge. One of the instance of Rj is allocated to the process Pi. Once the process completes its task, it releases the resource and assignment edge will be deleted. So there is no connection between the process Pi to Rj. Okay, we'll see some of the examples. So we'll see in this problem we have 3 processes. P is equal to P1, P2, P3. So set P contains process P1, P2, P3 and we have 4 resource types R1, R2, R3, R4. So R is equal to R1, R2, R3, R4. Next one we need to represent. So these are the nodes, vertices of the graph. Next we need to represent the edge. So edge is nothing but, so there are two types of edges we have. One is request edge and another one is assignment edge. That is request edge is from Pi to Rj and assignment edge is from Ri to Pj. First we'll consider the request edge. So request edge is from process. So here from one is from P1 to R1. Next one is from P2 to R3. Okay, next one we have assignment edge from R2 to P1, R2 to P2. Next one from R1 to P2. Next one is R3 to P3. So we have 2 request edge and 4 assignment edge. Now here we have 4 resource types R1, R2, R3 and it has the instances. So here R1 has one instance because here inside this rectangle of R1 we have only one dot. That indicates there is only one instance of resource type R1. Next one R2, it has a 2 instance of resource type R2. Next in R3 it has only one instance of resource type R3. Next one we have 3 instance of resource type R4. Okay, now we'll see the process states of each process. Now here the process P1, now we'll consider the process P1. P1 is holding the resource type R2. Process is P1 is holding the resource type R2 and it is waiting for the resource type R1. It is waiting for the resource type R1. Next process P2. So P2 is holding the resource type R2 and R1 and it is waiting for the resource type R3. Waiting for the instance of resource type R3. Okay, next one process P3 is holding the instance of R3. Okay, now given the definition, the resource allocation graph, if the graph contains no cycle, no process in the system is deadlock. So here in this example, so the resource allocation graph does not contain cycle. So here no process in the system is deadlock. Suppose if I consider, I'll start with P1, P1 to R1, R1 to P2, then from P2 to R2 there is no edge. So there is no cycle. So in this example there is no deadlock. Okay, next we'll see one example. If I consider, if we take the edge from the P3 to R2, if we take the edge from the P3 to R2, when P3 is requesting for the resource type R2, we'll see what will happens. Okay, now here the same example, we have taken one more edge P3 to R2. So here there is a deadlock. So here there is a cycle, that is from P1 to R1. I'll take P1 to R1, R1 to P2, P2 to R3 and R3 to P3 and P3 to R2, then R2 to P1, because we have started with P1 and it is ending with P1. So there is a cycle. There is a cycle, one cycle, and one more cycle is I'll start with P2, P2 to R3 and R3 to P3 and P3 to R2, then R2 to P2. So we have started and ending with the same process. Okay, there is a cycle. So in this case, the graph contains, resource allocation graph contains a cycle. There is a possibility of the deadlock. So this all the process in the resource allocation graph P1, P2, P3 are deadlocked. Okay, next one we have one more example. Because here in this case what will happen is each process is requesting for the resource type Rj, and that is held by the another process, that is used by the another process Pj. So there is no possibility of releasing the resources by the process, each process. So there is a possibility of deadlock. Okay, so there is a cycle. So there is all the processes are in the systems are deadlock. We'll consider one more example. Okay, in this graph, so the graph, it contains this cycle, but there is no deadlocks. That is nothing but we have cycle here from P1 to R1, R1 to P3 and P3 to R2. But there is a cycle, but there is no deadlock. Why? Because suppose here P4 is another process, but the P4 may release its instant at any time of resource type R2. When P4 is releasing the resource type R2, then the resource, that is the R2, the resource the instance of resource type R2 is requested by the process P3. It is once the P4 releases the resource instance of resource type R2, then P3 will allocate it to the process P3. The resource can be allocated to the process P3. So this will break the tie. So that here also P2 can release the resource at any time. Therefore P1 can the resource instance of the instance of the resource type R1 can be allocated to the process P1. So but this graph contains a cycle, but no process in the no processes in the graph, no processor in the graph are deadlocked. So if the resource, in a summary, if the resource allocation graph does not have a cycle, then the system is not in a deadlock state. If there is a cycle, then the system may or may not be in a deadlock state. So this observation is most important when we deal with the deadlock problem.